All right, everyone. Thanks for stopping by again and checking this. It's going to be a short video. It's just kind of part two based on the GT-3 stuff I've been doing with the Boss unit since I've gotten it. So I'm going to just kind of walk you through these videos in terms of how I'm hitting these milestones that I'm doing. Maybe it helped you, maybe it doesn't. It kind of helped me out. The big thing that I learned for what I'm going to kind of talk to you through right now is that, and I've seen it in other videos, you really can't use these, at least in my opinion, through a headphone to get the full sound of everything. What I'm doing is when I do this, I got the PV Bandit right behind me. I just put that on a clean channel and I leave it there. Everything I'm doing here, as I'm going through my tones, is done through this board. The key is, once you kind of get the hang of some of these, kind of just so you can see this, I'm sure you've seen it before, but, some of these presets, the, different types when you start building your patches, stuff like that, your master button is going to be probably one of your best friends. And here's why I say that. The two things I want to kind of just share with this video is that I kind of took, let me back up here. So you have like 80 different patches you can actually use with this thing. Breaking it down further, I think the first 30 or 32 patches are the user ones, meaning that you could actually go in and make some edits, whereas the rest of them, you can't touch at all. So I just started with one patch. I had my Paul Reed Smith, and I just started building some sounds that I liked, to the point where I got the Paul Reed Smith to a, as far as, distortion to where I wanted it to be. And then I took each one and I would program it to the pedals here. That's where the master comes in handy. You'll learn how to actually make the program, make the names for your patches, which is why the master button comes in handy. So, you can check the Boss manual, but there's also a supplemental manual out there. I'll put that in the description below, which actually helps out as well. That helped me program the control button as well. Because ultimately what I'm doing is, as I'm creating my user patches, I'm staying consistent with everything, probably except for whether it's distortion or overdrive. 1 is going to be my chorus, 2 is my distortion or overdrive, 3 is the delay, 4 is my reverb. I make bank number 2 when it goes to manual mode. That's my my amp simulation. I have that there. This is my tuner, and I program the control button to toggle between manual and I guess the patch mode. So when this isn't on, as I'm hitting my pedals here, I'm going from patch 1, from bank 1, pedal 1 to bank 1, pedal 2, and so on. But when I get to the sound that I want, I kick it over into manual mode. Now I have the option of turning each individual effect on and off, basically making it like stomp boxes, which is what I want to do. So what I've done is I went in and I started with, if it was bank 1, group, level 1 or button 1, I made that and I called it Paul Reed Smith distortion. I then went over, I kept everything the same except for the distortion itself. So it was Paul Reed Smith distortion. And then I made it Paul Reed Smith overdrive. And then I went to Paul Reed Smith acoustic. Why did I do that? Well, because each guitar is going to sound different as you start programming all this. The pickups, the output, everything is just going to sound different. So I figure if I'm playing and all I've got is my Paul Reed Smith, I know that I can go to bank 1 and I can kind of get the PRS distortion tone, the PRS overdrive, PRS acoustic, and I could be consistent that way. And all I did was I just copied everything over. The hardest part took me about an hour to really get the distortion sound that I liked. And then when I was happy with that, I would save it. I wrote it with the new name. I just moved on to number 2. I gave it an overdrive I liked. Rewrote it with the name I told you. Same thing for the acoustic. So I moved it over here. Then I took the Fender out, my Fender Strat, this little guy right here. Same premise. I went to the distortion side. Okay, I actually took the Paul Reed Smith distortion setting. I cloned it basically to bank 2. All right, because I was going to go again for the second bank. 2-1 would be Fender distortion. 2-2 would be overdrive. 2-3 would be acoustic. And I went in and I found each distortion overdrive pedal that I liked. Again, I kept it all the same as far as chorus, delay, and reverb, because I kind of keep that consistent with anything I'm playing. So all I started doing was just switching out my distortions and my drives. I will continue to do that because, again, if I'm playing with my Fender, the overdrive and the distortion are going to sound different than what I was using for the Paul Reed Smith. So I'm just trying to, tweak everything. It's well worth it because as I'm doing this, I'm saving everything. Everything's right there. So even if I was to take this and plug it straight into a PA system, I'm also adding, which I didn't mention, I'm adding the amp simulations here as well. So I'm just trying to make things as easy as possible. The front end is going to be a little bit harder because you're really tweaking everything. Once you dial everything in, it should make it a little bit easier now. So I have the 2 guitars done. The next guitar I'm going to do is probably my Dan Electro to do that. And then I've got a Tele. So again, the Dan Electro could be bank 3, the Tele could be bank 4. I'm going to keep with that thinking that I'm doing. So that way, depending on what I'm playing, I know, okay, I got my Tele. This is going to be my distortion. This is going to be my overdrive, and this will be the clean, or acoustic for the Tele. And as I'm, again, control is going to bring me in and out, so that way either I'm going manual or I can just go bank up and down, bang, and I've got it. So that's how I've approached this so far. I'm going to continue doing that. I actually have rehearsal this week on Wednesday, so I'm taking this with me. I will give it a shot and see how that works as far as my line of thinking. And again, I'll be going through a clean amp. I'll be going through something bigger than this. Typically, I go through a Marshall, head with a 412 cab, but I'm going to go clean, and we'll see how this goes. So we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you posted. Thanks for checking these out. I'll have some more installments as I go down here, using all this. So hopefully help you out. If not, hopefully it entertains you at least a little bit. All right. So if you're using it, enjoy it. And if you have any, thoughts or hacks or things that work for you, let me know. I'm curious. All right. Later.